Hi, it's Paul here from selfoutforlife.com, and in today's video I'm going to talk all about manifesting abundance. I'm going to talk about what abundance is, about the abundance mindset, and then I'm going to cover 10 steps to help you manifest more abundance and prosperity in your life. So what is manifesting abundance? Well, abundance is basically a plentiful oversupply of something, so there's enough to go round. And when many people think of abundance, they think of money, but it could also be abundant health. It could also be abundant success. It could also be an abundance of positive relationships. Now, manifesting is making it happen or appear in your life. So it's making it come true for you. Now, in the past, scarcity was more of a reality. You know, there were famines, there was an uneven distribution of wealth and land, and there were limited resources, but that's much less the case now for most people. So a key component to manifesting abundance is having an abundance mindset. So what does an abundance mindset look like? Well, it's a way of thinking and feeling that makes it easier to attract abundance and the things that you desire in life. Now, some people naturally have an abundance mindset, possibly without even knowing they have it. They tend to be those lucky people that easily get the results they desire and everything seems quite effortless. But for most people, we're not like that, and it requires some effort to develop an abundance mindset. The good news is that it is a skill and it is something that you can get better at with practice. And this video will show you how. Now, some of the characteristics of an abundance mindset include believing that there is more than enough to go around, being genuinely happy for other people's successes, thinking big, being an optimist, embracing change, being proactive, and constantly learning. So how do you know when you're successfully manifesting abundance? Well, the most obvious way is that your desire becomes a reality, but sometimes this can take time. So other things you can look out for along the way are synchronicity. These are like coincidences. These are things naturally coming together. Also, when you start to notice that you're getting more of what you do want and less of what you don't want. Also noticing opportunities, and there's two parts to this. There's noticing opportunities that were always there, but you didn't notice them beforehand. And then secondly, you feel more inspired and motivated to act on those opportunities. It's a natural state where life becomes fun, rewarding, meaningful and fulfilling, and work seems to take less effort. It's more effortless, and you have lots of energy and a clear head, and you feel calm. So I'm now going to cover 10 steps to help you get better at manifesting abundance. So step 1 is to visualize and create a vision board. So visualizing is simply relaxing and closing your eyes and imagining vividly and in detail the goal you want to achieve or the thing you want to desire. And when you're visualizing, it's important to bring in other senses as well. So what you can hear, what you can feel, and maybe what you can taste and touch as well. Another great way is to use a vision board. So this is when you take photos out of magazines, or now you can find photos on the internet, print them out, and you put them on this board. And then you put this vision board somewhere prominent where you're going to see it every day. You could also have a vision board on your computer, so you could have a virtual vision board. An advantage of that is you can easily get photos on the internet, but you could also have videos as well and have them all on this interactive vision board. And you could have some great music in the background as well. And the great thing about vision boards is that they help influence a part of your brain called the reticular activating system. That's the part of the brain that tends to notice opportunities, situations and people that are related to what your mind is thinking about predominantly. So when you're using a vision board, that's encouraging your mind to be thinking more about what you want. So then that part of the brain tends to bring opportunities into your life to help you do that. Now, if you're not the kind of person who's really into vision boards, another thing you can do is put photos in prominent places around your home. So perhaps on the fridge, perhaps on wardrobe doors, perhaps on your bathroom mirror. Anywhere where your mind is going to see it every day, and that will keep that goal or desire focused in your mind. So step 2 is to get specific. So you want to get really specific about the details of your goal, dream or desire. The universe loves specificity. So you want to be really precise about the people, the things, the places, the situations, the experiences. You want to get all the juicy details. So if it's a money goal, what is the precise amount of money that you want to earn and by when? What's the date? If it's about manifesting your perfect partner, what are they going to look like physically, and what is their personality going to be like? So you want to write that down and get very specific about that. If it's a health goal, what would having better health mean? Does it mean you're going to have more energy? Does it mean you'll be more vibrant? Those can be a bit hard to measure, but what about something like, I would be able to run 5 kilometers without stopping? Now, with specificity and being specific, it's important that you get very specific on the what. So exactly what you want to achieve. You can be less specific and precise about the how. It's good to have some ideas. Some people believe that you should leave the how up to the universe. I think you should have some rough ideas, but be open to other opportunities as well. So step 3 is to look beyond the 5 senses. You've probably heard people say things like, I'll believe it when I see it. Well, that's a very limiting way of viewing things, because we're much more than our 5 senses. You know, if Thomas Edison had had that belief, he would have never invented the light bulb. Why? Because he had to think about it first. He had to come up firstly with the idea, then he needed to imagine it in his mind in vivid detail before he was able to invent it and bring it into the physical world. So there are 3 invisible components, and the first one is thoughts. So this is thinking more about what you do want and less about what you don't want. So let me give you an example. I want to have enough money to pay the bills, save for the future, and have some left over for fun activities is a much better thought than, I don't want to be broke and struggling to make ends meet. Okay, so it's about what I want, not about what I don't want. And the reason for that is the subconscious mind has to think about what you don't want when you use that type of thought. So it has to think about being broke and struggling. So with the positive one, it's thinking about easily paying the bills, having money left over for fun activities, and saving. So the second invisible component is your imagination. So this is vividly imagining your goal or desire. Again, like thinking, you want to be imagining what you do want rather than what you don't want. Quite often we unconsciously imagine worst case scenarios, so you don't want to do that, and you want to focus on imagining what you want instead. Now, the third invisible component is feelings. So this is all about feeling good now. Now, I'm sure you've had difficult or bad days when you've been feeling quite negative and everything seems hard, difficult, you get unexpected setbacks, and it just feels like the day is a real drudge. And then you've had other days when you feel really good, you found that you get your tasks done easily and quickly, everything seems quite effortless, and maybe unexpected positive opportunities arise. Now, positive feelings is a part of the manifesting process that is often ignored, but it's really important. And I'm going to go into feelings in a lot more detail a little later on in this video. So step 4 is to deal with any limiting beliefs or money blocks. So your beliefs about money and abundance will have a massive influence, and often these are called blocks, so money blocks or abundance blocks, but these are basically limiting beliefs. So what are limiting beliefs? Well, these are basically repetitive thoughts that define what you can and what you can't do, and there are 2 common ones. So the first one is there is never enough. So this is believing that money is finite, that it is limited, that if you have more money, someone else automatically has less. It's also about you believing that there's never enough for you. And this can sometimes go deeper to believing that you're not enough or you're not good enough as a person. So the second one is basing your self-worth on money. So this is the idea that you need a certain amount of money to feel good, and that people with more money must be more intelligent, much better with people, or have the energy to work the crazy hours that you don't have. And it also means that when you lack money, when you have this belief system with it, that you naturally feel inferior. And this is because success and self-worth are based on money. Now, if you have this belief system and you have a lot of money, then you begin to fear losing it, because you realize that if you lose your money, you're not just going to lose the money, you're going to lose your self-worth as well. So how do you deal with these limiting beliefs or money blocks? Well, you want to start by becoming very conscious of the thoughts, feelings, and energy you have around money. What are the stories you're telling yourself about money? And then you want to immediately change those to a more positive thought. So it's just getting into the habit, as soon as you notice them, changing that to a more positive thought. And if you can't think of a positive thought, then change it to a thought of gratitude. So if you're struggling with money, maybe paying the rent, What do you have in your life that is working? Maybe you have a wonderful relationship. Maybe you have great health. So focusing on those as well. And this is something you do consistently and persistently. So every day you'll be interrupting those negative thoughts with a positive thought, and you just keep doing it over and over again consistently, and eventually your subconscious mind picks that up and you have less of those thoughts. Now, if you want to learn more about how to change any type of limiting belief, then I've done a video that goes into much more detail on this, and it will appear up here right now. So step 5 is to develop positive emotional states. Now, this is absolutely crucial in manifesting abundance. So many people neglect the influence of positive emotions. This is so important, and I touched on this earlier, but I'm going to go into more detail about this now. Now, I find that when I feel impatient, when I feel overwhelmed or stressed or frustrated, I find that things like my computer crashes or the printer stops working. It never seems to happen when everything's going well, just when things are difficult. And when I'm desperate to complete a task, so I really want to get something done now, maybe it's a blog post, something like that, I'll find that my phone keeps ringing or I keep getting other interruptions. And again, it doesn't happen at other times, just when I'm really desperate to get something done. So I've realized now, because this has happened so often, that this is no coincidence. There's clearly a link between the energy I'm giving out and these outside things that seem to happen that seem unconnected but really aren't. So when you're in a negative state, you tend to attract problems. You also tend to worry more and blame others as well. You might say things like, nothing works, or this is too hard, and things seem like a chore and you're in a funk. And this is because your energetic vibration is low. So you then attract those kind of things into your life. So the good news is that it works the other way around as well. So when you're on an emotional high, you tend to achieve a lot more and everything flows naturally. And as a result, you're more successful. And when you achieve things and you're successful, then you feel a greater emotional state anyway, and you stay in that emotional high. But there's a catch-22 here. What about when you want to achieve something and you don't feel in a particularly good emotional state? Well, the solution here is to consciously choose the states you want. So maybe you want to feel happy, confident, successful, or joyful, and you want to experience those right now. So the way you do this is you think of past good times, you think of past successes, and as you do that, you'll notice that those emotions start to appear in your body right now. And a couple of other ideas. Remember that money goes up and down. We have economic cycles, we have recessions. You might also have times when your personal circumstances change, your personal financial situation changes. But your happiness doesn't need to follow suit. It's within your control, even if the money situation isn't within your control. So I'm assuming here that you have enough to live on, that your basic needs can be met here. And if that's the case, then, to a large degree, your happiness can be within your control. So the second idea is to spend money wisely and intentionally rather than recklessly or emotionally. So often people think of retail therapy as a way of trying to improve their emotions. But what I encourage you to do is think of other ways of getting into positive emotional states that don't involve spending money on things that you might regret later. So step 6 is to increase your self-worth. So this is feeling worthy and entitled to the things that you desire in life, knowing that some work and effort is required. So when you have high self-worth, you know that when you put in the effort, you will get positive results and that good things will come to you because you know that you are a good person. It's also believing that you are worthy of abundance and capable of attracting, creating, and manifesting abundance. So do you feel that you're worthy of abundance, or do you feel that it's something that's more for other people? So if you feel that your self-worth needs a boost, here are some ways to help you do that. So you can identify and focus on the strengths and what you're good at. You can also make time for you, spend time doing things that you enjoy, so hobbies and interests and things you love. Also do things that get you out of your comfort zone. That's a great way to increase your sense of self-worth. Also be willing to ask for help and accept help from other people. And also have goals and a clear roadmap to follow so you know where you want to go in your life. And be grateful for all the wonderful things that are happening in your life right now and for what is working well for you. So number 7 is to develop a positive attitude. So when you have a positive and optimistic outlook and attitude, it's easier to attract what you want. You tend to see the silver lining in any situation rather than the cloud. You tend to smile more and complain less, and you give more with no thought of reward. When you have self-denying and self-defeating thoughts, this tends to stop us from noticing and experiencing the abundance that is out there. So I'll briefly cover a few ways to help you develop a more positive attitude. You could start by using positive affirmations to replace any negative thoughts and negative internal self-talk. You can focus on what is working well, however small that is. When something bad or unexpected happens, think of 5 other ways that you could think about this. Because we have things that happen and we have the meaning that we give to them, and different people give different meanings. So think of 5 other meanings. What else could this mean? That's often a great question to ask. And another great way is to have a morning routine. So some way of starting the day in a positive way. So this could be through reading, this could be by doing affirmations or visualizing, just something that you do at the start of the day that makes you feel good and sets your day up for success. So step 8 is to take inspired action. So inspired action is acting from a place of love rather than from a place of lack or fear. And a great form of inspired action is acting as if the thing that you desire has already been manifested. So in a way, faking it until you make it. And a good way to do this is by dream building, and this works best for material goals. So this could be visiting luxury show homes that represent the house you'd like to live in. It could be going and sitting in the car that you really want to buy one day, and maybe even taking it for a test drive. And when you do this, get some photos and add them to your vision board. Inspired action is also about doing more of what feels good and less of what feels bad. So how do you know what feels good? Well, normally you have a feeling of excitement, energy, motivation and joy. It will seem effortless rather than being a struggle. You're in the zone. It doesn't feel like work, and often you lose track of time. So step 9 is to play the prosperity game. So this is a mental game of receiving money from the universe that was developed by Abraham Hicks. And the game will help you to create a positive energy shift. This will then increase your energetic vibration. It will help expand your awareness of what is possible. It will stretch your imagination. It will replace any limiting beliefs you have around money with positive ones, and it will release any resistance that you have around money as well. So how do you play the prosperity game? Well, you start by deciding how much money you want to receive from the universe today. And if you're unsure, start with $1,000. Then you want to see yourself spending this entire amount of money in your imagination. What would you spend it on? Then the next day, you double that amount of money that you receive from the universe. And you can see that once you've done this for a few days, that this is going to become an enormous amount of money to spend. And this is when it really starts to stretch your imagination and your beliefs about what is possible. So like any good game, the prosperity game has a few rules. So rule number 1, you must spend all the money each day. Rule number 2, you can't give money away to charities. You want to have the mindset that unlimited abundance is available to everyone, so charities have all the money that they need. Rule number 3, you can't give money to others unless it's their birthday. Again, you want to have that belief that everyone has enough money as well as you. And then rule number 4 is you can't save it, because saving implies that there may not be enough money in the future. So step 10 and the last step is to express gratitude. Now everything happens in the non-physical world first, so you can express gratitude and appreciation before it appears. You can thank the universe for it appearing in the non-physical world first, and then you know it's only a matter of time before it appears in the physical world and appears for you. Also, when you express gratitude, it helps you remove resistance and it increases your belief in your ability to manifest abundance. Expressing gratitude is also about appreciating what you already have. It's about appreciating everything, including the struggles, including the difficult people. They are often your greatest teachers. And it's also about appreciating the lows as well as the highs. You need to appreciate both to be able to really value the difference. Expressing gratitude also gives you more positive emotions and more positive energy. It increases your energetic vibration, we talked about that earlier, and that allows more good things to be manifested into your life. So these are my 10 steps to help you get better at manifesting abundance. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, give it a thumbs up, and do leave a comment below. I'd love to hear what you think. And do subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and click the bell notification. That way you are always notified whenever I release future videos just like this one. So I'd like to thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and I look forward to sharing more great content with you very soon. Bye for now.